if we're talking about the future of Bitcoin, I think that we're in the Bitcoin gold rush era. And it started in January of 2024, and it will run till about November of 2034. It's a 10-year. And the reason how many people know what happened in November of 2034? It's an important date, you know. If you pull Clark Moody's dashboard, you'll see that. In November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined. And the last 1% comes out over the next 100 years.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. In today's video, Michael Saylor, Lyn Alden, and Lawrence Lepard talk about Bitcoin as a new asset class within a global monetary system, and why Bitcoin will change everything we know about investing. Saylor also gives us his prediction for the next 10 years, and why it's the best time to invest into Bitcoin. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
Back then, Bitcoin was still viewed as very niche, very weird. A lot of assets soared in the second half of 2020, and a lot of people just, when they looked at Bitcoin, they were like, oh, that's just a liquidity thing. It's just, it's just flash in the pan. Whereas I think, and this is something I stress a lot, most people here have probably seen the logarithmic price chart of Bitcoin. It's a very common thing you'll see on Bitcoin Twitter, you'll see everywhere else. You see all the highs and the lows. Most people in the world have not seen that chart, right? So that's in our echo chamber. That's a very common chart to see the long-term price of Bitcoin, especially in log terms. So you can see all the higher highs, higher lows. Most people have not seen that, and instead they only see the cycles that they personally witnessed. They usually look at the linear chart, and it either at any given time either looks like an insane bubble or it looks like a broken bubble, and that's how most of the people see it. And so they don't really see those older cycles generally. So at this point, they might have seen the 2017 cycle. They might have seen the 2020 bull market cycle. And for them, there's really only been those two cycles. They know Bitcoin's older than that, but they don't really see the price chart in their mind. And I think what catches people is when there's another high and another higher low and another higher high and another higher low, every single one of those is like another point to them that Bitcoin didn't die. And so they don't see like the 4+ cycles. They see, 2 or 3. And the third one I think is pretty important. When you see something not die 3 times, that's hard to really ignore. And so I think that at the institutional level, we're having some discussions with institutions, and those go, I think, a lot smoother than they did a handful of years ago.
I've seen in my base probably 50-50 conversion. Some people are just too dyed in the wool, can't get over the physicality issue, don't understand the future, don't want to take the time, don't want to do the work. But I've seen others who've completely flipped. A notable one recently was Chris Irons of Quote the Raven, who was a very smart guy and understood the debasement issue, but was anti-Bitcoin because he hadn't done the work. And I just kept working on him and working on him and working on him to do the work. And now he's a raving maximalist. It's really fabulous. So it goes both ways. Some guys get converted and some don't. And, but we just got to keep chipping away. I think Michael's point from his brilliant speech earlier of it's incumbent upon all of us to spread the word, because this is the solution to all our problems.
The Bitcoin bull market officially started on March 1, according to pseudonymous quantitative analyst Plan B, who is also the creator of the controversial stock-to-flow (HES2F) model for Bitcoin's price. The Bitcoin accumulation phase has ended, along with the easy Bitcoin buying opportunities, according to an ex-post by Plan B, referencing the S2F chart. Bull market has started. If history is any guide, we will see till 10 months of face melting, fear of missing out FOMO, extreme price pumps combined with multiple 30% drops. While the S2F model gained popularity during the 2021 bull run, it's far from being a perfect Bitcoin price oracle. According to the chart, Bitcoin should have breached the $100,000 mark in early August 2021, when Bitcoin was trading around the $44,000 mark. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin has also criticized the S2F model for giving investors a false sense of certainty.
If we're talking about the future of Bitcoin, I think that we're in the Bitcoin gold rush era. And it started in January of 2024, and it will run till about November of 2034. It's a 10-year. And the reason how many people know what happened in November of 2034? It's an important date, you know. If you pull Clark Moody's dashboard, you'll see that. In November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined. And the last 1% comes out over the next 100 years. So for all practical purposes, stock to flow becomes irrelevant. The stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin is infinity in 2034. It's within the tolerance of just random hourly trading of the asset. So it becomes noise. And so you have about 42 quarters, somewhere between 40 and 42 quarters. And if you look at that 40-quarter period, at the beginning of the gold rush, no bank could custody Bitcoin, no institutional investor could buy Bitcoin, no Wall Street trading firm, no investment company could handle Bitcoin, and it was unclear whether that ever would happen. That was a binary. And when those spot ETFs were approved, that created a fire or an avalanche. The genie's out of the bottle. It doesn't matter who's elected president next. It doesn't matter who's the next head of the SEC. It doesn't matter. And no politician's opinion, no banker opinion, no regulator opinion matters after that date. That was the most consequential thing that kicked off the gold rush. Now, as of the first quarter of this year, which is we're in now, right? February 29th, March 1st. What's the date? I get my dates messed up in the leap years because everything's off by a day. But, you know, every single institutional investor would have looked at this and said, Bitcoin interesting, but I can't buy it. You know, everybody. And so you have 99% of the money in the world that has been unable to buy and so unwilling to consider things. Institutional investors are like this. Like they could watch your company and like have a million opinions but don't really care. And you could go to them on a Tuesday morning and say, do you want to buy $50 million worth of this security? And they'll then look at it and they'll give you an answer by 4 p.m. So when they can buy via their bank, their institutional wirehouse, their prime broker, they will make a $50 million decision in 1 hour. And they will watch you and cheer for you or laugh at you for 20 years when they can't buy. So we flipped a switch in January. What you've got is 40 quarters of people getting educated, and here's what happens next. All those ETFs, they're only distributed through 20% of the distribution channel right now. They're maybe even 10%. So that distribution is going to go from 10% to 20 to 40 to 60 to 80, and there'll be a point at which all the investors can buy.
The 9 new spot Bitcoin ETF recorded over $2 billion in combined daily volume for the second consecutive day. The new ETF accounted for 75% of new Bitcoin investments since their launch on January 11, according to a report by on-chain data analytics firm CryptoQuant. The ETF have introduced passive, price-agnostic demand for the first time in Bitcoin's history, which will lead to new all-time highs before the end of 2024, according to a research report by Bitfinex analysts shared with Cointelegraph. Our analysis forecasts a conservative price objective of $100,000, $120,000 to be achieved by Q4 2024, and the cycle peak to be achieved sometime in 2025 in terms of total crypto market capitalization. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. Not know why you haven't subscribed yet? If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.